Hi Flosstube. Welcome if you are just joining. Welcome back if you're coming from the other podcasts or what have you. I am Sadie. I am your hostess with the mostest. And this is, did I say 46? Did I say 46? That's Petrie. She is unhappy. And I've got a Bebop here who's sighing heavily. Which basically means, get a move on it, Mom. I apologize for being late. Dentist, life, having to get things done. Such is the way. Such is the way. I have 3 things that I've worked on since I last podcasted about it, and so I'm going to show you those in no particular order because I can't remember what order I worked on them in. I know that I worked on this last night, and this is Bubble Fairy Cat Face by Carrie Hawks, and the design is from Heaven and Earth. I wanted a page finish last year. It didn't happen, but I'm about to get a page finish. I'd like to have a page finish before my husband gets back. That would be nice. Considering I've got a column left. So I moved everything over so you can see some of it is under the Q-snap now, but I have finished this row, or this column, and I am on the last column of the page, and then I have one more page. And it is not a full page. I believe it's 3/4 of a page. So I am over a third of the way done, and I'm very happy with it. I am calling her Whimsy. From back here, she looks amazing. The closer you get, the harder it is to see those whiskers, though. So you like watch them kind of disappear as it gets closer and closer. You kind of look, where the heck are those whiskers? I don't know. Well, way back here, you're like, oh, look at those whiskers. It's kind of an optic illusion that they put in there, and I'm okay with that. I like having finished her eyeball. I like her eyeball. I think her nose is adorable. I like her little mouth. It's just, My husband bought me another one of these quick stitches in the Carrie Hawks cat faces, the faces of the kitties. And I believe it's the kitten face. And I think I'll do that one after I finish this one, just to have another one on the go, because I really enjoy working on the Bubble Fairy cat face. It's very zen making for me once I get out of the super confetti. This top block here was super confetti, and it sucked because everything was basically brand new because I had to start new things for it, so that took a long time. Whereas I'm going to motor through this next block because most of them are parked. I am going to take the opportunity right now, and I apologize if parking is not something you care about, fast forward for a little bit, but a friend of mine, Lizzie the Mama, on Instagram asked me to explain parking a little bit and the benefits of it, and this was truly the one I experimented on in terms of parking, where I didn't park originally, which is what you can't tell anymore because I've actually gone over it at this point. But over here, I started moving over here. I did some cross country. I did some down here. And then I got really screwed up and everything went to pot and back. But what I like about parking is it's very beneficial for the heavy confetti areas. It's also very beneficial for places in which you get really confused or your counting's off. It's really easy to tell, and you can fix it, and you don't have to pull back more than a block. I work in blocks of 100. This one is gridded out. The gridding is kind of faded, but it's still there. It's gridded out. Some people grid with the pen. Some people grid with the sliver, and that's all good and fun. I am not gridding on my Fright Night, and I'm cool with that. I gridded on my Pokemon, and I like that. It's subjective. I think I needed gridding to get started, and now I don't necessarily need it. But I do like working with the park threads. The park threads just make life easier, because then you're not counting super long stretches, and it's not as big of a worry. Some people don't park. Some people completely cross-country. They have no problem with it. It all depends. I have decalcification, which means it's kind of like number dyslexia. It is number dyslexia, where you can invert numbers and see them backwards and interpret them as letters instead of as numbers. So I can have trouble counting things, and I can count them wrong really, really easily. So I like having the blocks of 100. And so I do it up here, and I'll fill in the block. I'll fill in the block with the color, and then I'll put it in the next one. Or in this case, where I ran out, or this guy here, for instance, this little guy here, was right there. and then I had no more all the way down, so I moved it over because that is where I will use it and I will work down with it. So there are many great videos, particularly by Carolyn Mazzio, off the top of my head, on how to park and how to mark your parking and everything, and I found those to be extremely helpful to get me started. And then you just develop your own methods of parking. This one I'm doing loop starts because it's 2/1 on 14 count because it's a quick stitch and that's small enough. For the Fright Night, I am doing 1/1 on 25 count. I did not work on it this week, so you're not going to see it, but with that one, I'm doing waist knot starts. So, it's all subjective. It's all subjective, but do give it a try if you're doing full coverage, because that's what it's basically for, is your full coverage pieces. Okay, end of diatribe. Figuring out how to set stuff places. Next up, who got some work and who's probably going to get a fair bit of work because I have a bet with myself that I want to be finished her by the time my husband comes home. And this isn't the big push, so eventually he will come home and it's not going to be uber long, but it also won't be for long. But either way, it's for anyone who's been in the situation I'm in, you set yourself weird little goals or weird little things that you'd like to accomplish. It's not necessarily that you accomplish them, but it's something to work forward to or look forward to. So one of the things I want to do is to finish this before he gets back. So, and that is Stevie, the Gypsy Queen by Mirabilia. It's Mirabilia number 142. This was a Christmas gift from my mummy 2 years ago. I think it's time she was done. Although, to be fair, it took forever for it to get here because it just popped up in my memories on Facebook that I started it, like, last year at this time. So it's officially been a year. But look where I am. Like, I just have the bottom of her dress, this stand here, and this little guy here, who I'm probably going to do last because it's mostly silks. And then beading. And I think what I'll do is start at the top and then bead my way down, and then I'm just not going to put this Q-snap piece back on. I'm just going to let her flop over the back. I think that'll work. Till I suck it up and get an almanac. I think an almanac is going to be in my future. But that is where I'm at. So, I don't know. I think I can do it. And if I can't, it'll be fun to try. It'll be fun to try. Because I've got a few other things kitted up that I'd like to start, and that would just be awesome. So, the last thing that's awesome work between now and when I podcasted last is the deer heart, which does not want to stand up straight, which Suzanne won and is on its way to her. There, less glare. Less glare, because I'm being lazy and I'm not taking it out of the package. It's super easy, it's super fun, and it's perfect for my brain when I don't want to have to think too much. So, this guy's done, the turquoise in here is done, I got half a flower over here, but the big thing I worked on was I did another outline in the deer, as you can see there. The second color in there, and then I filled this part in. The deer has a head. The deer has a head. I have a deer head. Up next is a deer heart. First a deer head. So super enjoying that, and I like filling things in. I do. It's fun. So this will probably be pretty up in the rotation. Did I tell you guys that I actually bought a manga, which is a Japanese comic book? And this little guy, who I bought like a ton of these, I think I bought one of each style from Crafter's Waypoint on Etsy. I bought, I think, all of the styles she had of this little guy, and I was like, it looks like Frank! My cat Frank, which is why I bought them all. Yeah, this cat has its own, like, manga. There are, like, 4 volumes so far, 3 or 4, and its name is Chi. And it's famous in Japan. And I swear Chi is based off my cat Frank, because they both have the same facial expressions, the same reactions, the same coloring. It's crazy. I love it. So, of course, I bought the first volume, and I'm going to read it and go and buy all the other volumes and then own all the volumes and be the crazy person that I am. But those were the 3 things that I worked on this last week. Hoping to continue to work on them more. I think you may only see 2 of them next week, depending on how I feel, because I may just go crazy on the Gypsy Queen. But I guess I'll see you on Friday. Have a great week.